Welcome back to the 21 Boom Guided Meditation. This is Coach Zach Feeney, and I'll be your guide for the meditation this evening, or whatever time you might be watching this after the fact. I have to love myself into healing. The only path that can carry me home is the path of self-compassion. Radical compassion means including the vulnerability of this life, all of life, in our hearts. It means having the courage to love ourselves, each other, and our world. Radical compassion is rooted in mindful, embodied presence, and it is expressed actively through caring that includes all beings. With a practice called RAIN. The name is an acronym that stands for the 4 steps of recognize, allow, investigate, and nurture. Do not try to save the whole world or do anything grandiose. Instead, create a clearing in the dense forest of your life. You are in a trance when you are living on autopilot, when you feel walled off and separate from those around you, when you are caught up in feeling fearful, angry, victimized, or deficient. Our pathway out of trance is taking a U-turn. We are taking a U-turn whenever we shift our attention from an outward fixation, like another person, our thoughts, or our emotional driven stories about what's going on, to the real living experience in our body. Am I in trance or in presence? So presence has 3 primary characteristics: wakefulness, openness, and tenderness or love. In contrast, trance encloses us in a virtual reality of thoughts and emotionally charged stories. We're trying to solve problems, satisfy desires, get rid of discomforts, or make our way to a future when things might be better. We are at the mercy of unconscious beliefs, feelings, and memories that drive our decisions and reactions to life. Not only that, but our unconscious wants and fears shape our deepest sense of who we are. When we're in trance, we usually feel separate or alone, threatened, and or incomplete. So trance is like the qualities of being in trance are unconscious, below the line, asleep like in a dream, caught or possessed by emotions, dissociated, heart defended or numb, reactive to experiences, and grasping or resisting. Presence is conscious, above the line, wakeful, lucid, and aware, emotions witnessed mindfully, in contact with feelings, hearts caring and tender, responsive to experiences, balanced, open, and discerning. So taking the U-turn to presence, you might consider this as something you can explore when you're stressed, rushing, and anxious. This simple reflection can reconnect you with a sense of inner resourcefulness, self-compassion, and choice as to how you live your days. Experiment with the U-turn at a time when you realize you've been lost in thoughts, perhaps obsessive, worrying, or planning, judging, or fantasizing. Begin by pausing, sitting comfortably, and allowing your eyes to close, and take a few deep breaths. And with each exhale, let go of any obvious tension in your mind and body. Now shift your attention fully away from any remaining stories or thoughts and notice your actual present moment's experience. What sensations are you aware of in your body? Are there any strong emotions present? Do you feel anxious or restless as you try to step out of your mental stories? Do you feel pulled to resume your activity? Can you simply stay right here for just these few moments and be with whatever is unfolding inside you? What happens if you intentionally regard your experience with kindness? When you resume activity, notice if you sense any shift in the quality of your presence, energy, and mood. So brain says yes to life. Let's go over this week the first two steps of brain. Between the stimulus and the response, there is a space, and in that space is your power and your freedom. The deepest transformations in our lives come down to something very simple. We learn to respond, not react to what is going on inside us. So the first two steps, recognize and allow, and here's a closer look. Recognition starts the minute you focus your attention on whatever thoughts, emotions, feelings, or sensations you are experiencing right now. The key question here is this: what is happening inside me? See if you can take the perspective of a non-judging witness and be curious. Take some time to notice whatever attracts your attention. There may be distressing thoughts, anxious feelings, hurt, confusion, or sorrow. Try to let go of any preconceived ideas and just listen in a kind, receptive way to your body and heart. You don't have to search, simply become still and notice whatever is going on. Sometimes you'll discover a whole swirl of experiences: confusion, anger, racing thoughts, anxiety. That's fine, just note any part of the cluster that stands out. There are other times when you may start out feeling numb or empty. In fact, these are emotional states too. Simply name them: empty, numb. Recognizing is the first step of awakening from trance. It may take only a few moments, but it is crucial. You're lifting your head above the waves of fear or anger. You're becoming a witnessing presence. Next is allowing, and it asks you to let be whatever thoughts, emotions, feelings, or sensations you have just recognized. You initiate it by gently asking, "Can I be with this?" or "Can I let this be?" It's natural to feel resistance at this point. You wish some of those feelings would go away. Allowing can include the reality of your no, the fact that you really hate the way you're feeling. Pause as the thoughts and emotions continue to unfold without trying to control them or doing anything to resolve them. You may feel a strong urge to start analyzing and fixing things. You need to let that be as well. This is a time to let your awareness include everything that is going on inside you. The two key questions of mindfulness are asking yourself, what is happening inside of me? And then asking, can I be with this or can I let this be? There are degrees of allowing. At first, you may feel you're just going through the motions, putting up with unpleasant sensations. Or you may realize you've made a secret bargain. I'll say yes to shame and it will magically disappear. Yeah, even simply whispering yes begins to give you a sense of more space, more room for what is there. Your entire being is not so rallied in resistance. As you continue to practice, your defenses will ease up. You may feel a physical sense of yielding or relaxing and opening to waves of experience. While allowing doesn't necessarily reduce unpleasantness, it radically shifts our relationship to pain in a way that reduces suffering. Imagine the difference between pouring a cup of dye into a sink full of water and pouring the same amount into a lake. Allowing expands us in a way that enables us to include, not fight, physical and emotional pain. Psychologists call this affect tolerance. Remembering this potential for healing helps you say yes to the reality of this moment. Together, recognizing and allowing enable a shift from a constricting trance to a more awake, spacious presence that can eventually include all of life. It is from this mindful awareness that you will discover fresh, creative, and more compassionate responses to life's challenges. Take a few moments to sit quietly, collecting your attention by resting in the movement of your breath. You can close your eyes again. Bring to mind a situation that elicits a moderately strong emotional reaction of hurt, anger, fear, or shame. Not one that might trigger trauma. It might involve a conflict within your family or with friends, an addictive behavior, or something difficult at work. Review that situation as if you were watching a movie until you get to the part that most activates strong emotions. Freeze the frame and deepen your attention to whatever is going on that most disturbs you. Ask yourself, what is happening inside me? And notice whatever feelings are most painful or intense. Now become aware of your attitude toward those feelings, all the ways you might be saying no to your experience. Are you thinking something is wrong? That this shouldn't be happening, wishing it would go away, blaming yourself, blaming another, trying to change it or push it away. To experiment, send the word and energy of no directly into the place inside that most distresses you. Sense what happens to your body, heart, and mind when you reject what you're feeling. And notice if you often feel this way, if it seems to be a familiar part of yourself. Now take a few full breaths. Then remind yourself again of the most difficult part of this situation and recall the feelings that are most painful. But this time, ask yourself, can I be with this? Or alternately, can I let this be? Sense that you have the space of awareness to include everything you've discovered, that you can fully allow it to be as it is. You can even say yes to the parts of you that are saying no and resisting what's happening. Experiment by directing the word and energy of yes to whatever you are feeling most intensely. What does it feel like in your body when you say yes? How does yes affect your heart, your mind? Let the yes be as full and unconditional as possible. What is your sense of your own being when you are saying yes? Imagine the days and weeks to come. What would it be like if this situation arises again and you could name the difficult emotions, pause fully and allow them to be as they are? What possibilities might open up if you could pause and say yes to your inner self?